This is exactly what hippies always said. This is exactly what peaceniks always said. This is Fortunate Son, the song. It's like, you know what? It's very easy to sit in your building and send young men to die. Apropos of Ukraine, because, I don't know, that war doesn't look like it's going in the right direction.
Not at all, no.
But just so, you know, just don't lie to me. I don't like Donald Trump. Don't lie to me and tell me he wants in front of a firing squad. He was saying something that, by the way, if it came out of the mouth, some of it, not the stupid part, again, sounds like what hippies used to say.
Welcome back, everyone. In this one, Bill Maher goes head-to-head with a woke guest who keeps bending the truth on major political issues. From election denialism to foreign affairs, Maher doesn't hold back and calls out the blatant hypocrisies. This guest's defense of mainstream narratives, even when they contradict each other, only serve to fire up Maher more. It's clear that the guest wants to paint a particular picture, but Maher's not buying it. If you're tired of biased takes and want a dose of raw commentary, this one's for you. Let's get into it.
All right, here are the questions from people. If Trump loses, do you think Steve Bannon will lead election denial efforts? No kidding. Now that he has been released from prison. He would have done it from prison.
Yeah. I talked to Steve Bannon. I interviewed him in 2020, and he told me a month before the election that they were going to deny the results. A full month before. He told me that in an interview, that we're going, there's no way Trump is going to concede, and I don't suspect he'll do that again.
There's only ever two outcomes with them. Either we won,
correct,
or it was rigged.
Pretty strong start here. This cuts right to the core of election integrity debates. Maher points out how for some it's a win or cry. Maher points out that for some it's win or cry cheating. This is a textbook hypocrisy. How many times has this exact phrase been used against Trump? But suddenly it's justified when the left claims the system is broken. Maher's calling out the double standards that have fueled division and kept the game one-sided.
Yeah.
Yes,
I can't believe
that question.
Yeah, I mean, we've been living with this for 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to. If Trump went away tomorrow, would that end? I don't think so. I think another person in the Republican Party would pick up that mantle, don't you think? I don't think there's anything going back from that.
No, I don't think so either.
Okay.
Somebody's going to try to take his place. But what's interesting is that in 2020, Bannon and the inner coterie were all emphatic that Trump was going to declare victory even if he lost. And they were explicit about it. They were saying, regardless of whether or not he wins, he will declare victory.
Can I give you one happy thought, though, on this?
Yes.
I agree that they'll try in the future, but it is really hard to imagine a mob of people storming the Capitol waving J.D. Vance flags. You know what I mean? There will still be election denialism, but Trump's unique charisma is important, and removing him from the process is a good positive step.
Okay. What would the public reaction be if instead of Elon talking to Putin, yes, we found out that Elon Musk does talk to Putin, we learned that George Soros had a secret relationship with Chinese President Xi? Well, good question.
The Elon thing is insane. Actually, it's insane to me that it isn't wall to wall. There's no precedent for the situation we have. He's the biggest donor to Trump. He is, if not the biggest, one of the biggest government recipients of government contracts. He's talking to Putin. Apparently, during one of the talks with Putin, Putin asked him to do a favor for him for Xi. So Xi is involved in this, about not giving Starlinks to Taiwan or something like that during the conversation.
Yeah, sure.
So it's not, the Soros example isn't really apt at all, because he's on top of Soros. He's also a government contractor, and he's also coordinating with our geopolitical foes. It's an absolutely insane scandal that I feel like people are like, well, yeah, we know that's happening.
Well, Russia and China are close allies now. And we've got North Korean troops that have joined the bloody Russian invasion of Ukraine. So there is this axis of autocratic powers that have gotten together, and yet we've got Donald Trump and Elon Musk in frequent, often daily contact with them.
This is a massive claim that suggests Trump and Musk are part of an axis with foreign autocratic powers, which is a convenient stretch to fit a certain narrative. Yet, the same critiques will ignore similar dealings with other U.S. corporations or influencers who align with quote-unquote acceptable leaders internationally. If Soros or another high-profile left-wing figure were rumored to be speaking with Xi Jinping or Putin daily, the media reaction would be deafening. But with Musk, it's framed as scandalous simply because of his ties to Trump, and perceived alignment with conservative ideas. It's a double standard that points to selective outrage based purely on political alliances.
It was a very fast descent, too. I mean, at the beginning of the Ukraine war, Elon Musk provided Starlinks for Ukraine.
Right.
And then said at some point that they would prevent Starlinks from working in certain areas of Ukraine because the Ukrainians were using them for offensive purposes. And, you know, I was on this stage when he was here being interviewed, and he was, this was a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it just seemed like a different person. Today I saw that he's posting videos on Twitter, on X, of people trying to vote for Donald Trump and making it a Harris vote. I mean, these are obvious nonsense videos, but this is being spread by the person who owns the platform, is the richest man in the world, and has how many, you know, hundreds of millions of followers. It's depressing.
What do you make of the statement? I woke up today to the headline that Trump had called for a firing squad for Liz Cheney. And this is what I really don't like about the media. No, he didn't.
He did not.
You don't have to move me to not like Donald Trump.
He says
more
so
than
many
I
shitty
already,
things. Why do you have to
And
do
by
that?
the way,
Yeah.
if Pete don't realize it, well, here's what he said. He's criticizing him for being a war hawk. I mean, she is Dick Cheney's daughter. He said, she's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay. Let's see how she feels about it. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, we'll send tens of thousands of troops right into the mouth of the enemy. Now, of course, he expresses himself horribly. He has to add, she's a stupid person because he's a moron.
Well, Trump knows what it's really like from Vietnam.
Okay. But, just to be clear, this is exactly what hippies always said. This is exactly what peaceniks always said. This is fortunate son.
Maher nails it here. His guest is riling against Trump's anti-war rhetoric, but the truth is, this stance has roots on the left. It's ironic. They'll praise anti-war sentiment until someone on the right echoes it. This woke guest can't decide if they're for peace or for war as long as it's the opposite of Trump's stance. Maher's exposing the guest's selective outrage right in his face.
Wrong. It's like, you know what? It's very easy to sit in your building and send young men to die, apropos of Ukraine.
Yes.
Because, I don't know, that war doesn't look like it's going in the right direction.
Not at all, no.
But just so, you know, just don't lie to me. I don't like Donald Trump. Don't lie to me and tell me he wants in front of us a firing squad. He was saying something that, by the way, if it came out of the mouth, some of it, not the stupid part, again, sounds like what hippies used to say about
Bill,
not sending people to, yes.
I agree with you on the lying. I mean, that is ridiculous and absurd and counterproductive. But when did Donald Trump ever criticize a war hawk the way a hippie did? I mean, was it during Vietnam? He got out of going to Vietnam, but he didn't criticize
I'm not
the war
going
or
to
the Iraq
defend,
war.
Jamie,
Yeah.
I'm not defending Trump.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't lie to me.
I agree with that. I mean, that's just a distortion.
It's
but read what he really said.
It's counterproductive. I mean, the number of Trump people you talk to who talk about the media and giving them any ammunition like this. I mean, I saw headlines, chyrons on television this morning saying that Donald Trump had said that Kamala Harris should be executed.
Here's where the media really shows its card. A casual or offhand comment becomes an inflammatory headline, feeding the cycle of outrage without context. Trump may be careless in his phrasing, but the media loves to exaggerate his statements, giving ammo to his supporters who feel justified in their distrust. Maher's calling out the game. They don't need to fabricate, yet they keep doing it.
I mean, at the beginning of that kind of rambling, incoherent thing, she said, give her a weapon, which is not typically something you do to someone
And
who's
again,
being
the
executed.
spirit of it is something that if someone with the blue hat said it, people would nod along on the left. Yes, exactly.
There's plenty of things he says that you don't have to invent them.
Can I just say one thing? And I agree with you. All those criticisms are fair. But there's been a lot of violence, as Nancy Pelosi knows, and a lot of threats. You know, and on both sides.
Denying guns in somebody's face is just still not something you really want a president saying.
Of course, he's horrible.
Yeah.
But you know, half the country is like, that's the way we all talk. We don't watch our P's and Q's.
I also get a little annoyed about the media, the constant media criticism of the mainstream media. This is a fair criticism, but it's like, it's coming oftentimes from people who are like, frequent viewers of the Jesse Waters show or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole right-wing MAGA like it's not 1984, right? Where there are only 3 networks, and if they're a little and if they're biased, if Dan Rather is telling you something that's wrong, that's like a really big deal that he's biased because 60 million people are watching Dan Rather. It's like as many people like are watching daytime MSNBC as are watching primetime Newsmax, right? So it's like. You know what I mean? So obsessing over the criticism, right? So obsessing over the criticism of it, I just sometimes think is a little overkill.
So J.D. Vance said teens are purposely becoming trans to get into elite colleges.
What's that?
Well,
Here, Maher points out the absurdity of Vance's statement, claiming that teenagers are making life-altering decisions just to gain college acceptance is reaching for a talking point, not reality. This sensationalism doesn't solve anything. It just fuels cultural wars with extreme ideas on both sides. Maher's frustration here cuts through the noise. He's tired of the polarization on issues that require genuine understanding, not manufactured rage.
it is. I don't think that's how. I don't think that's why teens are becoming trans. But
wow.
Just to throw it all on the table, I'm not so sure that elite colleges don't want trans, possibly more than they want people who are not trans. I mean, that's just where the far left is. But I don't think they're purposely doing that. He also said that he wouldn't be.
What's his plan for the White House on that?
I have no idea.
What's the Trump-Vance administration going to do?
Is there like one case of that?
Of course not. But he said, J.D. Vance said he wouldn't be surprised if he and Donald Trump get the normal gay guy vote. You know. Guys who fuck women. You know, the normal gay guys.
I think what J.D. Vance means by the normal gay guy vote is the guy who has a blank profile on Grindr, who's messaging, actual out gay guys. I think that probably is a Trump supporter.
All right, I got to go to Vegas.
Love to hear your guys' opinion down in the comments below. If you agree or disagree with a lot of the points that were made within this video, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.